Okay, this is the second lesson working with Title Deko Pro, and on the screen we have here are three layers where we left off with the first one here. And of course, if you remember what we were talking about in the first one, you use the page up, page down key to move from layers. Now, the first layer that we have here, if you move your cursor over each one of these, you'll see we have an arrow cursor, this one, and on this one here, when you move this over, you see that we do have the move cursor that appears here. And you'll notice too that the dittos running around this complete word here are complete. The carriage return is covered here at the end. Now, moving on, we want to change the actual font here. That's the next thing. We go over here and we click onto this using the cursor or the typeface. You see that brings up a whole bunch of different typefaces. Now, if you hit your key on the keyboard, your arrow key going up and down, you'll notice as you do that, now what I'm doing, I'm hitting the down key, the arrow down key. You'll see how that starts changing that first font there. Now, let's say you don't want to scroll all the way down to where your T's are here. So you're using the keyboard again. We just hit the T key, and that brings up Tahoma font, and so that's how that looks. So you can move around there. If you, let's say you want to go down to the Z key, maybe you don't have a Z anything in there. Let's say a K. Alright, so we hit the K here, and so that you can see that you can move around that way and change your fonts accordingly. And again, by way of understanding this, if we go down, we can close out that, and we go down to this again using your up and down, page up and down. If we move from the very top one, now that's the one highlighted with your cursor up there. Notice that move cursor's in there. We want to go down to the one that's below that. We hit the page down key, and there, that's highlighted. Now what we need to do, if we want to change anything in here, we have to triple click this, 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice again the cursor moving, the dittos moving around this word right here are very visible. And again, the move cursor is highlighted. Now that's only highlighted in this one. When you go up here, you don't see it. You don't see it down here. You do see the move cursor in here. That means that's active, and we can change whatever we want to with this particular layer here. Like for instance, you don't like that color there, go over here and we hit left click with the cursor on the green over here, and then you go up here and you right click on that, and of course that changes your color here. And again, you can do the same for your fonts that you're using here. Again, go over here with this arrow pointing there, and let's say you just want to drop down to, let's say this, let's just go down in this case to the S's. Well, that's the one that's the Seago UI is the one that we've got right highlighted right there. We can keep moving up, down, whatever we want to, or anything. You can see we can hit any weird combination that we really want to there, like this one here. So that's how you now work with different fonts that are in there. And now let's move on and let's start looking at the layers themselves specifically. So we use again the pointer, and if we move the pointer over and we hit layer over here, well, now inside of the layer itself, and we can see that what we can do here is something quite interesting. Again, this is the specific uh, font and a specific layer that's highlighted, and if we want to start typing here and continue on with this particular font here, moving on, adding words, this is more to add. Now, if we look at this, we've got quite a bit more wording in this layer that we've added. And what we want to do is to control the amount of that layer. Again, going up here, we'll see that we highlight layer here. We don't want this running over here like this. So let's do this. Let's the word wrap, let's cut that off, and it pushes it to the side. In other words, it doesn't cause it to go down. You see what I did there? The arrow pointing up here, the word wrap is turned off. And if we want to control this inside of this little perimeter that we've got set up here, what we can do is hit this scale to fit the box. See how that works? So that's just another tool that you can use to control what's inside of the layer itself. Now, the next thing we can do with this layer is we go up here and we hit look up here. Now this is where we hit a little confusion when people hit this look, because they don't really know what they're doing at this point here when they hit look, because the word face is highlighted. The only thing we're going to be able to change is the face here. However, if we hit this little add here, you can see that now remember, we're working right in here. We can do some interesting things. For instance, like we hit this edge here. We're working now with edge. Now, what kind of edge do we have? Well, we've got a black edge here, and black edge, you can't even see the edge because the edge is black. You can kind of see it around here, though. When you look down here, the current font there, it's a black edge. Now, we want to pick that edge up and see what it really looks like. Again, my arrow's over here to the right. We left click and we hit right. Now, that changed something, but didn't really change anything because we don't have this highlighted correctly. What we need to do is triple click that. We've got to be outside of this. Okay. Now watch what happens when we do that. Left click, right. Well, what happened? The face is still highlighted over here. We're not doing nothing. So you got to get the edge brought back up. Okay. Now, let's try it like this now. Blue, yellow. Wow, we've got an edge around the word itself. How about that? And if we don't like that color, let's go down. Let's see, we might try a red one. Look at that, got an edge around it again. And that's kind of interesting there when you start seeing these type of changes that you can control. Okay, we'll continue on in the third lesson and play around with this a little bit more in the third lesson.